Ken?
Of course, everybody has their own filter, and you touched on a wide swath of topics there, so I want to just address a couple of them in a row here. I'll try to do it pretty quickly. So when you talk about situations and accepting the situations, one of my favorite spiritual teachers is Eckhart Tolle. He says that in any situation, you have three choices. You can accept it, you can change it, or you can leave it. And so when you look at it like that, that's basically the roadmap, because it gives you the tools as well. Even if you're being self-aware and trying to navigate through difficult situations, ultimately what it comes down to is you have those three options. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be passive and accept a situation if it's not going for you. It's like you have the power to change it, or you have the power to leave it.
Leave it.
When you talk about anger, like the Buddha used to say that holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal. Because the only person that's going to get burned is yourself. So you can sit there, seething and just be so angry and just be chewing up in your mind like all the time. I've been very guilty of this in the past. But ultimately, it's not going to hurt the other person at all. The only person you're hurting is yourself. The third thing you were talking about, active listening. I think this is so important in our society and something that we don't necessarily practice all the time, because people are always thinking about their own responses and what they're going to respond to the person that's talking instead of actually listening to what they're saying. And that causes breakdowns in communication. It causes misunderstanding. And like you said, it causes just stuff to be lost in translation. And that ultimately affects your relationship with the person, because if you can, as you said, recite back to them what they've been saying to you in a way that makes sense, it shows them that A, you care about what they're saying and you're listening, but B, you also are taking the time to try to understand their perspective. And if you relay it back to them and it's not exactly what they were talking about, then you can get further clarification of the point.
Absolutely. And I think that actively trying to listen to your people, the people that you care about, is going to have such a huge impact on the way that you see the world, because now you're not looking for enemies or someone that would corroborate or deny your point, so you can find division in attribute whether they are your friends or your enemy. And I think that if you listen with the purpose of trying to understand, it's going to have a different impact on your life. And and on that basis,